Soethe. Dan Dawson in the commentary box for this one as the action from the European Darts Open continues here at the Maritime Hotel in Düsseldorf. Rod Harrington's disappeared off, but...
He's out to lunch.
Yes, but fresh from a in-depth bit of research on Christian Soethe, it's Rob Malarkey alongside me. Rob, what have you got?
Well, I've been speaking to his barber, and he was last in there 3 weeks ago. It's taken 21 days in the making to produce what you see on stage here. And that's just the goatee. European Tour debutant Christian Soethe coming through qualifying last night. He's on a roll, but he's up against a man in Johnny Haines, who's a relative newcomer to the PDC circuit. Beat Kevin Painter 6-1 and Steve Haines 6-5 to secure his seat on the plane to Düsseldorf this weekend. The punk is 50 years of age. Dropped all the way to the world number 76 spot in January. Had to come through Q School to win his place back on the PDC Tour. Did so. Earned a fresh 2-year tour card, and here he is, looking to make a big impression this weekend as well. Playing in his first European Tour event of the year. Played in this event 12 months ago. But he's up against, and I use this very infrequently, an unknown quantity, and I think Soethe is exactly that.
Well,
as far as we're concerned.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had a little look around for stuff on Christian Soethe. Johnny Haines starts off at the ton 40. He did try and qualify for this last year, didn't make it through. There's not a great deal else out there about him. But despite the fact we've had 5 host nation qualifiers make it through last night, we got the extra one because of the withdrawals of Keegan Brown and Benito van der Pas. Despite that,
85.
Max Hopp hasn't made it through. Sasha Stein, who had that run at the World Championships, he's not made it through. This man saw them both off, along with Hans-Joachim Hilger. And he beat Max Hopp 6-1. And with the way that Max has been playing lately, I mean, in qualifying for Riesa, the last European Tour event, he won his 3 qualifying games, all 6-0, and he hit a 9 darts. So the boy has been playing some very, very good stuff, as well as, of course, their run at the World Cup of darts. But Christian Soethe saw him off rather comfortably.
99.
So maybe he's a bit of a danger, but Johnny Haines is down to a finish after 3 visits to the board, and he's looking at 136. And that'll do nicely for him. Winner of this one will face Benito van der Pas, bumped up to 16th seed because of the withdrawals that we've had.
Well,
that's got the crowd going, but Haines is in a good position here to steal with double 18, and he does.
Johnny Haines, second leg, Johnny to throw first. Game on.
Haines flew into Düsseldorf this morning. He was on my flight from Heathrow, I can tell you that as well.
Did you turn left? You in the business or first class?
He was on row 11, right behind me.
Wow.
It was one of those, it took me a while just to try and put 2 and 2 together. I was racking my brains for a good 5-10 minutes, and then I realised who it was.
81.
Didn't ask him, but just knew.
What was the final giveaway? The teeth?
I wasn't going to say. Just his demeanour.
Just his general demeanour.
43.
Some limited success on the tour this year for Johnny Haines. 3 last 16 places, yet to find himself in a quarter-final. But one of those last 16 was on Sunday. That was the tournament that Jelle Klaassen went on to win, beating Ian White in the final. James Wade won the one on the Saturday.
140.
He has made a quarter-final of a European Tour event before, though. It was the Dutch Darts Masters, but it was back in 2012. That's as well as he's done in a PDC event.
45.
I might remember seeing him at the Worlds a couple of years ago as well. He was a first-round loser to Wes Newton. His one appearance at Ali Pali. Just the 45, but he's got a narrow lead over Soethe. It's a bit of a dog of a leg, this one.
It is. No one's really taking control of it by the scruff of the neck. Haines does stand a long way over to that right side of the oche when he approaches the board.
60.
See another man who does that on the way this evening, Stephen Bunting, the Bullet. He's up against Jihan Artut. Now Christian Soethe.
140.
Just a ton 40, but it gets him down to Shanghai, and it's a chance to break back against Johnny Haines here.
83. Christian require 120.
Well, this will get the crowd going. And part 1 and 2 have been accomplished.
80.
Part 3 wasn't.
Johnny require 106.
18s he wants. Gets it. And gets the double 16. Johnny Haines pinching that one and leads 2-0.
Christian to throw first. Game on.
Well, Soethe must have thought it was a chance to get back into the match straight away, to level things up straight away, but Johnny Haines having none of that whatsoever.
100.
Nonchalantly chewing his gum at the oche as well as he goes about his business very effectively here.
55.
The 50-year-old from Swindon.
60.
Certainly Christian Soethe. I mean, the fact that he's got his own dart shirt with his name on, then that shows that he's not just turned up having played in his garage for ages. I mean, I have seen.
I don't know about that. They're quite easily obtainable, aren't they? Sure.
And we have seen guys in the European tour, people like Fabian Hertz, who basically come out of nowhere and nobody ever
Valero
heard
in
of
Gibraltar.
Manuel Valerio, what a man he is.
44.
Played at the World Cup, of course. Been around for ages. But I have found some various German websites I was trying to make sense of, which referred to Christian Soethe's darting career. He has been around in Germany. I think he's played a bit of soft tip stuff. He won a doubles tournament last year, the Masters of Masters. Year before, I think he'd won the singles event, and they were tournaments that included the likes of Sasha Stein, who saw the World Championships. So, I mean, he evidently is a face on the scene of German darts. It's just that he's not really putting any appearances on the PDC circuit.
Yeah, I saw several references to the German Darts League as well. Talking of soft tip, by the way, one man who is reputed to be, or was once, one of the best in the world on the electronic board, Michael Rosenauer, also made it through. He's in action later as well. Maybe one or two things expected of him this weekend, although he's got a first-round match against Jamie Lewis, if I'm not mistaken, and that is the case.
Now then.
55.
Well, Johnny Haines took out 106 in the last leg after Soethe had missed a dart at double top. He might be about to take out 120 in this leg to punish him for the same mistake.
100.
Well, it would have been a second breaker throw as well. Soethe needs to find this now. Right on the wire. Further away. Not this time. Soethe gets his first leg on the board.
Fourth leg, Johnny to throw first. Game on.
Yep, feeling much better about things now. Soethe after that, that's got the crowd going, but needs to find more, needs to find a break as well. Let's not forget.
Yeah, you mentioned the Jamie Lewis-Michael Rosenauer game. That will be the last one on this evening. And the winner of that
100.
gets to face the world number one, Michael van Gerwen. Good luck with that. Man who's won 4 out of the 5 European Tour events.
45.
Yeah, 2015. He may not have won the Premier League, didn't win the World Championship either, but Van Gerwen has been truly dominant elsewhere in 2015.
Yeah, Masters and UK Open champion, of course.
100.
And he really, really wants the match play. Really wants it. Not won that, of course. Made the final last year and got, well, a bit of a hiding from Phil the Power Taylor, a man who's won the last 7 match plays. Last person to beat him was Terry Jenkins 8 years ago.
60.
No Phil Taylor this weekend, but there is a Michael van Gerwen. There is James Wade. Peter Wright, the man who won here last year. Oh, some big names. Michael Smith, of course, the guy who won the last European Tour event.
85.
Yeah, the man Peter Wright beat last year as well. Simon Whitlock is here this weekend too. Chizzy was a finalist here a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, I should say. He is seeded for this one as well. He'll be here tomorrow.
And they play Jelle Klassen in what is already one of the ties of the second round. Don't bust it, Christian.
136.
Sets it up perfectly. Now, Johnny Haines, 96 for a 3-1 lead. He's under pressure, but he's got 2 clear darts. Oh, lovely stuff, Johnny Haines.
Pressure, what pressure. Brilliant from Johnny Haines. A 106 checkout for a 2-0 lead, a 96 checkout for a 3-1 lead. He looks to be in a very good place right now, Johnny Haines.
100.
Russ Bray just taking a second glance at that final darts. Just the ton for Soethe.
100.
Likewise for Haines. Soethe reminds me of someone. It's driving me wild.
22.
Can't think who it is. It'll come to me.
Samuel L. Jackson.
60. 82.
Good recovery from Soethe to an extent. Haines, though, does, or maybe thinking about a chance again to break here.
55.
Not with darts like that.
Johnny Haines had to come through the UK qualifiers for this, of course. Christian Soethe.
139.
Saw Kevin Painter, as well as Steve Hine, in qualifying for this one. It's his first European Tour event of the year. He did make 3 last year, though.
84. Christian require 148.
Yeah, including this one.
Now, he said 148, I believe, there. There's Russ. Now,
this is crucial if there
double,
is a...
Yeah, I think it must be double 14. Well, that's what he's going for. Ignore that scoreboard. 148 checkout from Christian Soethe. What a finish that is.
Yeah, they're struggling to reset the scoreboard here as well. So it is 3-2. And it was a checkout of 148.
Now, for the first time on the European Tour,
57.
last time out, we had a German make the final day of action. That was Max Hopp, having seen off Mervyn King, found himself in the last 16. He didn't go any further than that.
100.
It's certainly not full here for the Friday afternoon session, but it will be absolutely packed all weekend, and they would love to see some host nation representation in the final day of action. Max isn't here, of course. Jihan Arthur has the very, very tough task of taking on the former Lakeside World Champion Stephen Bunting-Laser, but maybe Christian Soethe, maybe Michael Rosenau,
maybe Michael
Thomas
Langendorf.
Mike Langendorf, of course.
Although he's strictly speaking Austrian, but he represents Germany as a player.
It's a rather fluid
66.
nationality, I think.
Well, the way Soethe's been playing in the last leg and a half or so, it may well be that he's harbouring hopes of being here tomorrow.
100.
Another one of those would go down very nicely indeed.
81.
Bang on cue, finds the 1.
He's got down to a finish first, but even a ton for Johnny Haines here would probably make him favourite.
100. Christian require 100.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's got. Tall order this for Soethe, but he has taken out a 148. Won't be taking this out though.
120.
Nicely done. Nicely done. He's there just in case Haines slips up. Might not slip up. 2 at tops. Double 10 for a 4-2 lead.
Game shot in the
And that's exactly what he does. Christian Soethe, that's a bit of a sucker punch for him, because he would have been really hopeful there of at least returning to the hockey and finishing off, but Haines takes the opportunity away from him.
I'll tell you what, the finishing in this game has been pretty special. We had 106 under pressure from Johnny Haines, then he took out that 96 in 2 darts, again under pressure. The 148 from Soethe, and now 100 from Johnny Haines. Very, very impressive stuff from these two. Still a little way to go in this one. Christian Soethe needs to hold his throw. He needs to find a break somewhere as well. Having been broken in the very first leg with a 13-darter from Johnny Haines. The punk from Swindon.
85.
Good to hear the pistols employed in the walk-on, though. Long overdue.
45. Christian, you require 161.
May have been a slight amendment there. Rusbray just had a word with Soethe before he stepped up. 161, though, is the required score.
60.
Make that 101.
He's 200 points clear here. So Christian Soethe has got a nice gentle stroll towards this leg. And no
60.
pressure from Johnny Haines.
Christian, require 100.
We have another ton plus checkout.
Why not? Yeah, he's going the right way about it.
89.
Just unable to finish it off there. Will be back for double 6.
95. Christian, you require 12.
It's a double 6. Working his way in.
No score.
He's probably going to be back, but this would eclipse even the 148 we saw from Soethe earlier on. Not going to happen. There's going to be pressure, though.
100. Christian, require 12.
He's had 3 goes at it already.
Game shot is 7.
4 will do nicely. It's 4-3. Still in with a chance here is Christian Soethe. Johnny Haines is going to be made to work for this. And after a shocking scoring leg from him last leg,
140.
kicks off 140 in this.
Yeah, just needs to try and rediscover some momentum here, Johnny Haines. Seems to have been stopped in his tracks. He looked very, very comfortable at 3-1. But that 148 checkout in leg 5 from Soethe just breathed new life into him. I'm not putting it beyond Soethe to break back here and
100.
get back into contention.
Good last dart from Haines, though, firing it over the top of the first 2, and it looked like he blocked his path to the bed.
100. 100. 100. Johnny, require 161.
161 then. He doesn't need to go for the 17s and the ball here.
97.
Not with Christian Soethe back on 2-1-8, but if he can fire a couple of trebles in here, there's going to be some pressure on Johnny Haines in this 64. The finishing has been pretty good in this match so far.
36.
Nothing particularly good about that.
64.
So some breathing space here for Haines. Tops he wants for a 5-3 lead.
44.
Just underneath the wire. A couple of millimetres in it, but he will be back at double 10.
Likes of former Lakeside world champion Christian Kist and ex-Premier League star Wes Newton on the way this afternoon. Right now, though, it's Johnny Haines who's within a leg of the next round.
Christian to throw first. Game on.
Well, Soethe's got to win the next 3 on the spin. It's, on the face of it, looks a tall order, and with a start like that, it could be an even taller one.
45.
And Haines has a chance here to really turn the screw and just stamp his authority on this 9th leg. It could be the final leg as well.
100.
An early break in the very first leg from Johnny Haines with a 13-darter. Since then, it's just been hold after hold after hold. He'd take that, but he prefers to get the job done right now.
45.
It will be a step up in trip for either of these players against Van der Pas in the second round tomorrow. 21 dart leg for leg 2 there, by the way, for Haines after that 13 dart leg opener.
It's about as good as it's got. That 1-4-8 check out from Soethe in the 5th leg there, you see. And he got the job done in 5 visits to the board. But aside from that, it's not been a match that they'll sing songs about. Now though.
140.
Still giving it a go, Soethe. You see the averages there, 84 plays 85. Soethe just shading it in truth, but certainly one leg there where Johnny Haines was quite some way away.
$95. Johnny, you require
sets it up nicely, unless, no.
58. Christian, you require 40.
Well, a hold here from Soethe, 5-4, puts the pressure back on. Haines can see the finish line, he's not there yet. 5-4 it is.
Well, it's fair to say he's not wilted on his European Tour debut, Christian Soethe. We have seen some players just not be able to handle the occasion, the stage, the crowds, the cameras,
60.
go into their shells a bit. I mean, all right, he's not torn the place up or set the place alight. 1-4-8 check out. He's taken 4 legs so far. If he can win this leg, he'd be thrown for the match.
I thought somebody had set the place alight this morning when I arrived. There was smoke everywhere. Just the effects.
They do love a bit of dry ice in Düsseldorf.
They do.
They love it. You see, a couple of ton-plus checkouts there. But Johnny Haines, once he gets... Well, both of these guys, in fact, once they get a 1-dart checkout, they've been very, very good at taking it out. But overall... important last dart.
64.
Overall, it's Johnny Haines finishing that's put him in the position he has. I mean, we've mentioned it before, the 106, the 100, the 96, and he's taken those out under pressure as well. That's been the difference between these two so far, but it is not over just yet.
Well, Soethe's doing his best to make sure it is 24. Over. 26, followed by a 24. 50 on the board from 6 darts. Haines eclipsing that, and then some here.
139.
And he's very much in the driving seat now.
Yeah, we said about him not being overawed, but that's probably, we get to the business end of the game. He's had 2 very poor visits consecutively, and it's going to allow Johnny Haines a lot easier ride than perhaps he would have expected following the first 9 legs of this match. He might get it done right here. He won't. But he'll set it up.
118.
Yeah. Well, he can taste the victory now. Soethe can't buy a treble at the moment. 26, 24 and 60 41. In his last 3 visits. And it's just nowhere near good enough even against a player like Johnny Haines, who does indeed secure the victory by 6 legs to 4. And it's the 50-year-old from Swindon who goes through to round 2, where he will face Benito van der Pas tomorrow.